What's up, everybody? This is Mario, and I'm back with another episode of Endurify. And yesterday, if you listened to the podcast, I gave you a 21-day early bird kind of morning workout challenge. And what I want to do today is I want to build on that and kind of take it a step further. If you want to, build on top of your morning routine with exercise, but if you want to take it to the next level, then that's what today's podcast is all about. So as I mentioned yesterday, when I was first trying to build the habit of early morning exercise, I understood how important it was, but I wasn't a morning person at the time. And eventually, I kind of struggled with it for a little bit, but eventually I read a book which was called The Miracle Morning, and I implemented some of the, tips from the book, and it really helped. It really helped me actually become a morning person. And since then, I've even shared some of the things from the book with other people, and they've said that it's worked as well. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to share some of the tips and tricks from The Miracle Morning. And if you haven't heard of The Miracle Morning, it's a book that's written by Hal Elrod, and he has this amazing story because several years ago, he was actually hit by a car and he was pronounced dead for about 6 minutes. And then eventually he somehow woke up, and the doctors were shocked, but they were told that he would never even walk again. And over time, he slowly improved, and he developed this system of kind of these best practices from people all around the world to really reach your full potential. And he eventually, over several years, got healthy, and then he got into a sales role, and eventually he, built an amazing business, and he's one of the biggest motivational and keynote speakers all around the world. And he kind of distilled his whole story and everything that he learned about the importance of a morning routine into his book called The Miracle Morning. And what he talks about, his main thing that he's known for is his 6-step morning routine, which is what he calls life savers. So SAVERS is an acronym. So SAVERS is his acronym for the most important things to do in your morning routine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through each one of those and describe what that acronym stands for, and then talk a little bit about how you can implement it today, even with this 21-day challenge, again, if you want to take it to the next level. So the first S in SAVERS stands for silence. And this is where you want to start every morning with a period of purposeful silence of at least 5 minutes. So I know for a lot of people, waking up, getting out of bed, and then starting with silence might actually mean that you'll fall back asleep. That definitely has happened to me. But the most important thing is to just start your day with some silence. Do not have your first thing be grab over, reach your phone, and scroll through emails, scroll through text messages or Slack messages. You want to just take that moment to be silent. If that's prayer, start your day with prayer, like I do and like I've talked about on the podcast. Or if it's meditation, a lot of people like to wake up, not have their phone, but start with a breathing technique or a meditation. Whatever that is for you, you want to incorporate some type of silence in your day. The next one, the A, stands for affirmations. And this is where you want to kind of program yourself to be confident and successful in everything that you do. And when you're creating these affirmations, these are positive statements that you state, in the first person, and you say them out loud. And when you're talking about these affirmations, you want to focus on what do you really want? Why do you want it? And who you're committed to being to create that thing. It can be, some inspirational quotes or philosophies. It can be, it can be whatever you want it to be, but it's got to be something that's deeply personal to you. So that's kind of the second step in the process is affirmations. The V in SAVERS that stands for visualization. So this is where you want to imagine what you want to achieve and mentally rehearse what you'll need to do in order to achieve it. So we've talked a lot on this podcast about how do you visualize success in a race, and what does that look like for you. But this is definitely something that you can, at the beginning of your day, you can visualize what does success look like for your day ahead. You can take a look at what are those major activities that you have on your day. If it's workouts, if it's meetings, if it's different social gatherings, you can visualize what it's going to feel like and what it's going to, how you're going to show up when you're engaged in those activities. So that is the S, the A, and the V. The E is one that we've already talked about and one that you're already doing, which is exercise. So that's where the E in SAVERS comes in. This is where, you can do your bike, your run, your swim, yoga. You can do some push-ups. It doesn't matter. When Hal is talking about exercise, he typically does things that don't require you to go to the gym. So things like push-ups and sit-ups and jumping jacks, something like really quick and light and easy to incorporate in your morning routine. But the key thing is you want to start moving your body, get the blood flowing, and give yourself a lot of energy. So that's what the E stands for. Then R stands for reading. So this is where, you want to learn from experts and model successful people who have already achieved what you want. And this is such a great way to, in hours for you, to make progress that has taken other people potentially decades, right? So if you're reading something that somebody has, spent years and years and years working on, and they've distilled it down into a book, that's honestly a way for you to just get years ahead of other people because you're following a path that is already proven. So that's really the main benefit with reading. And then the last S in SAVERS stands for scribing. So really, when he says scribing, it just means writing. So writing really enables you to document your insights as well as any areas of opportunity. So if you've listened to kind of the 5-minute journal podcast that I did previously, I do start my day with just a really light, quick journal where I write down what are 3 things that I'm grateful for. I write down 3 things that would make today great. And then I write down 2 affirmations. So these are the 6 steps that Hal Elrod has in his Miracle Morning that he really preaches. If you do these 6 things every morning, you are going to unlock your full potential. And I definitely believe in the power of these 6 things. I wouldn't say I get to every single one of them every single morning, and that's okay. But these are really the best practices that have stood the test of time, that if you want to build a morning routine that's going to set you up for success, these are the things that you're going to want to incorporate. And what I would say to you is just try and find the ideal pattern or the ideal routine of these 6 different things that works for you. For me, I've been experimenting with, sometimes I do my exercise right away in the morning, but other times I start with the actual affirmations and the writing and the reading, and then I do my workouts after I've had a little bit of time working on some of my most important activities. So that's one thing that I would say is, learn these six principles and then experiment with what works for you. So that's just the first part of what I wanted to talk about. Now, the second part of what I wanted to talk about is, that's kind of the strategy from the Miracle Morning, but there's a couple of specific tactics that I remember from this book that actually helped me become more of a morning person. And I wanted to share some of those with you. So the first one that Hal talks about is, in order to become a morning person, that means that when the alarm goes off and you wake up, you're literally like jumping out of bed. And what he says is the best way to do that is to actually set an intention before bed. So at night, before you go to bed, you basically want to try and create some genuine excitement for the next morning when you're going to bed. And you should actively say and kind of plan for, when I wake up at 6 a.m. or when I wake up at 5:30 a.m. or when I wake up at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow, I'm going to be genuinely excited about this and I'm going to jump out of bed. And you'd be interested, it'll be interesting for you to see when you actually set that intention and you say, I am going to be excited at this time, and then you go to bed and you wake up at that time, I guarantee you that you will be excited to jump out of bed if it's something that you're genuinely excited about. So it's all about setting that intention the night before you go to bed. So that's one thing. And then there's a couple of other tactical things. So one is to move your alarm clock across the room. So a lot of people have their alarm clock just right next to their bed. So if you hit snooze, you can just, reach over and hit snooze. But one of the best ways to actually get out of bed is to force yourself to get out of bed, walk across the room, and then click the stop button on your alarm clock, because this forces you to get out of bed and engage your body in movement. And that movement creates energy. So when you get up and you get out of bed, it basically just naturally helps you wake up. So another thing that he talks about is to brush your teeth. So right when you wake up, go directly to the bathroom sink to brush your teeth and splash some water or cold water on your face. So at this point, you've set the intention, the alarm goes off, it's all the way across the room. You go across the room, your alarm might be in your bathroom. Once you hit the alarm, then you brush your teeth, you splash some cold water on your face. The next thing you do is you drink a full glass of water. So you want to hydrate yourself first thing every morning. You want to fill the glass of water the night before so it's already there for you in the morning. So you've gotten up, you brushed your teeth, you drank your full glass of water, and then the next thing that you want to do is you either want to get dressed in your exercise clothes so you're ready to leave kind of your bedroom and immediately go for your miracle morning, or you can just jump in the shower right away. So again, these are just different things that can help you get some energy in the morning. So those are just a few like little things that I remember from the book that actually really worked for me, and they're very subtle, right? So just setting your alarm clock across the room, brushing your teeth, putting water on your face, drinking a glass of water. But when you try these different things and you tie them all together, you will be surprised by the results. So I just thought that would be a good idea as we're building off of that 21-day morning challenge that I gave you yesterday from Be Iron Fit. And this is all about just that benefit of waking up early, having that energy from that exercise that you're doing. And also, if you want to take it a step further, incorporate some of these other things. So this is where I want to bring it back to you and just ask you, again, are you committed to this 21-day morning early bird workout challenge, right? Getting the exercise in before you go to work, before you do anything else. And if so, do you want to take it a step further, and do you want to try and incorporate some of these other best practices in the morning? And if so, just remember the SAVERS, right? So the SAVERS, again, is silence. You want to start with silence. The A stands for affirmations. The V is your visualization, thinking ahead, what is success going to look like? E stands for exercise. R stands for reading, and S stands for scribing or writing. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that served you, and I hope you all have an amazing day.